In today's video, we're going to dive into some big updates. We have Canary Capital filing for a staked say ETF. We have Ripple's Ripple US Dollar RLUSD expanding into Africa, and a Capgemini report that's claiming that Western Union is working with Ripple to use XRP and USDC for settlements. We'll also touch on Robinhood joining the S&P 500. We have new records for XRP futures along with gold recently hitting a new all-time high. What's going on, guys? KEVINCAGE here with another crypto update. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give that like button a poke for me and leave your thoughts down below, and let's kick it off. And if you guys can, please let me know how the audio quality is. I've been playing with the expander and the compressor filters in OBS, so hopefully this is better. But anyways, let's dive in. So we've shared by Cointelegraph, we have the SEC has acknowledged the filing for the Canary Spot Stake Say ETF. So we're aware of Canary Capital. They previously filed for the US HBAR ETF along with even an XRP S1. And now we have Canary Capital filing a registration statement with the SEC for a staked say ETF. So we can see down below that custody is going to be handled by BitGo and Coinbase, and this is basically a spot ETF with staking. So this is really cool to see this because this ETF would basically allow staking through all these infrastructure providers and generate yield. So then maybe a lot of other ETFs could follow behind. And Canary Capital has already filed for ETFs and different S1s for a variety of different projects. We have SWI, Hedera, we know XRP, we have Pengu, Litecoin, and then a recent application for a Spot Tron ETF, which also included the staking element just like Say. And I'm sticking to this opinion, not financial advice, but I believe we still have a really good shot for a variety of different altcoins to see spot ETFs by the end of the year. Alright, next up, we've shared by the company Ripple the next chapter for RLUSD starting in Africa. We're proud to bring our trusted US dollar-backed stablecoin to the continent with new partners. So we have Chipper Cash app, we have Valor.com, and Yellow Card app. And before we dive into this, we can see the Ripple US dollar at time of recording has a market cap of $731 million on the road to $1 billion. Alright, so based on this article that came out 4 days ago shared by the company Ripple, we have the Ripple US dollar available to institutions in Africa with 3 new partnerships: Chipper Cash, we have Valor, VALR, and Yellow Card. And we're well aware that the Ripple US dollar is still extremely young in the scheme of things when you compare it to USDC or even USDT Tether. And obviously with the Ripple US dollar and this being issued by an NYDFS regulated trust company, that's a huge highlight, just highlighting their compliance and their credibility. And we're aware of different enterprise use cases. I know people get bored with stablecoins, but stablecoins are going to be absolutely massive and very important to the crypto space. We've gone over the stats of predictions and projections to exceed $2.8 trillion by 2028. We want that liquidity, and this can lead to new use cases not only for cross-border payments and instant settlements, but better liquidity for remittance and treasury operations like we're seeing, more integrations with DeFi, better on and off ramping between fiat and crypto like we're seeing today, and a bunch of collateralization for tokenized RWAs. We know the Ripple US dollar is already being used in this relief pilot project led by Mercy Core Ventures in Kenya. So the Ripple US dollar is being piloted in this climate insurance project right in Kenya, and there's smart contracts that release funds for farmers during droughts or times of heavy rain. And taking a quick look at the 3 new partners for the Ripple US dollar, so we have chippercash.com, over 5 million users. We have Valor or VALR, and we can see that this is the largest crypto exchange in Africa. We also have this company Yellow Card, which is Africa's first licensed stablecoin payments orchestrator. They've processed over $6 billion in volume and operating across more than 20 countries. Alright, next up, so we have this report, and this is by Capgemini, and we can see this directly on page 14. Western Union, in partnership with Ripple, in trialing XRP and USDC-based blockchain settlement in corridors such as Mexico, the Philippines, and Thailand, reducing T+3 settlement times to real-time transfers. And if you want to check out this report yourselves, you can. This is originally found and shared by Rath Economan, and he linked it down below. So just like Rath says right here, we have It's a Funny Business. This Capgemini August 2025 document claims Western Union is working with Ripple to use XRP and USDC for the corridors below. And just like Rath says, this is funny and it's definitely interesting, but keep in mind that this is not an official announcement from Western Union or the company Ripple. This is just coming from Capgemini's report. Alright, next up, so we already know that Coinbase back in May joined the S&P 500 index. And we can see as of June of 2025, the S&P 500's market cap was over $50 trillion. And now we got news a few days ago that we have Robinhood, or Hood, to join the S&P 500, and we have this shared by Reuters. And again, we're going to see more and more of this for a bunch of crypto exchanges, crypto-based companies, those that offer trading desks, and hopefully expand into a lot more use cases. But overall, this is just boosting a bunch of institutional credibility. And really think about what this means. These index tracking funds are forced to buy into Robinhood, into Coinbase. Alright, we already know that gold recently reached a new all-time high price around $3,600, and we also have the typical chatter of markets see a 99.7% chance of a Fed rate cut. And you could definitely see an interesting correlation when rates are cut and different risk-on assets perform, such as crypto. Now I want to play a quick clip from the Bitwise CIO, and Bitwise is a huge crypto-focused asset manager. They offer a variety of ETFs, and he goes into quotes basically saying that Bitcoin should be at $200,000 by now.
There has been so much fundamentally positive news, and it's just been buried sort of in the background. We've caused ourselves to ignore it. There's the strategic Bitcoin reserve. There's the SEC pulling back on essentially every lawsuit. There's progress on stablecoin legislation. There's talk of market structure legislation. There was the White House Crypto Summit. These are game-changing positive developments that should put Bitcoin trading at $150,000 or $200,000 today. It's been suppressed because in the short term, this overhang of the economic uncertainty is weighing on the markets. I think if that is released, we're at new all-time highs quickly, and we're on our way to where I think we'll be at the end of the year, which is Bitcoin 200,000. So I think there's been this sort of suppression of really good news. If that suppression is removed, I think it's a coiled spring. So in that scenario, I think we do exceptionally well.
Is there anything else that needs to happen to get us to Bitcoin at 200K by the end of the year?
I don't think so. You have these three horsemen of insatiable demand for Bitcoin. You have the ETFs, which I continue to think will have strong net flows this year. You have companies. We saw MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin. I think the number of companies buying Bitcoin is going to triple this year. I think the game theory is on. It's slower than people maybe want in this impatient crypto world, but I think countries around the world are going to be buying Bitcoin. So there is structurally more demand than supply in Bitcoin. I think all we need is to release this sort of economic gloom that's hanging over us. If we do that, I think it's straight to the races.
And I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, sharing what CME Group shared related to some data. So we have XRP futures contracts for the fastest ever, just over 3 months to hit $1 billion in open interest. So checking this out, even considering the Gemini XRP credit card and all that, I tried to apply and I haven't even been approved yet. I think they're just like backed up and the app isn't even working. But yeah, this is a really big deal. We have record $36 billion in open interest for crypto futures and options on August 22nd. Over 1,000 large open interest holders. We have XRP, Solana, and Micro Ether futures open interest hit all-time highs. So what does this mean? We have a bunch of OI, and this is showing that we have institutional interest, and this is spreading beyond just Bitcoin. And we have a million different things, like multiple US states that I've shared before related to Texas with a Bitcoin reserve. I know we've gone over New Hampshire signing a crypto reserve into law. And we also have Arizona a few months back. Will Arizona become the first state that joined feds in planning a Bitcoin reserve? And you guys can check this out yourselves at casebitcoin.com. So we have Bitcoin and traditional assets ROI versus the US dollar. So we have Bitcoin, gold, and the S&P 500. We also have it comparing the CAGR, the compounded annual growth rate. Now I know when you're looking over 14 years, Bitcoin destroys everything with 1.9 million% in ROI compared to gold at 94%. Even the S&P 500, which still did fairly well at 461%. It's just no competition. And when you compare the CAGR, we can see basically Bitcoin's CAGR became a little bit more moderate over the 14 years, but it still exceeded what gold and the S&P 500 did. I mean, it just eclipsed their values. And that's exactly why I hold crypto in my Roth IRA for tax-free growth, because I know historically the crypto asset class has exceeded both gold and equities. So be sure to check out iTrustCapital linked right in the top of the YouTube video description, and it's the top link right in my link tree. And make sure that you're using the promo code KEVINCAGE8 when you're signing up, because when you fund an IRA or a premium custody account, you get a $100 funding bonus. And this has been my go-to platform for almost 6 years, so be sure to go check them out. And let's finish up today's video with this. So we already covered Arizona, Texas, and New Hampshire with different discussions and bills for strategic Bitcoin reserves. And I've seen this circulating around, so this came out today. We have Kazakhstan president has proposed the creation of a strategic crypto reserve. Now I think it's already pretty obvious with Wyoming in that I believe it's called a Frontier or Front stablecoin we went over in a previous video. We're likely going to see a lot more states follow behind, and it's going to be this domino effect for launching stablecoins and even having a Bitcoin and a crypto strategic reserve. So I tried to look into this Kazakhstan news. It might be legit with a national crypto reserve, and it wouldn't surprise me, but any article I see just links another article, and then I follow this article, and then when I go to this where it's reported, it takes me to Telegram. So I can't really verify this. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know we went through a ton, and we can see on RWA.xyz we have a new record for total real-world assets on chain at $28.43 billion. The bulk of this is private credit. We have US Treasury debt all the way down, but it's great to see this climb. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.